All right. Welcome to the episode 3 of the Garmoth Grindcast. Hello, everyone. Hello, fellas. I am your host, Blank Mega, and my co-host here, Frogandroid12, also known as Ethan. Hello, Ethan.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm having a good day. So I'm excited.
I'm happy you're having a good day. I had a pretty good day. War was pretty good. We're recording this after war, so war was pretty good, and I am more. I'm happy about my performance. I suppose a little bit more than usual. How was your
Did
stream?
you
Or how
did
was
you
your stream,
win?
man? We did not win. We did not win.
Damn. My stream's going pretty good. I'm having a good time. New people coming in, new people typing.
Yeah.
Um yeah, it's nice. I have people to talk to. It's kind of good.
Yes, yes. So let me introduce myself real quick. Hello, everyone. My name is Blank Mega. I started playing BDO since 2017. I'm a Black Desert Ambassador. I really love this game. It's my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time. I specialize mainly in PvE content, and I do a little bit of PvP, as I am in a PvP guild. I main Suck Ninja. I'm 761 gear score now. I got 1 gear score yesterday, yippee. And I used to be a Suck Lawn main. Uh, what about you, Ethan? Tell us about yourself.
Um I am a 717 gear score Suck Zerker and Suck Guardian. I started playing this game in November, I think, of like 2023. Um, I don't know. I specialize in PvE, but I've been trying to get into PvP. I just kind of hit mobs sometimes. And that's pretty much my entire gameplay loop.
Yeah, mobs is the way. I love hitting mobs.
Yeah, it's money. Who's gonna complain about money? Let's be honest.
True, true. Is there any goals? Is there any self goals you have? In terms of gains?
I was thinking about it. I really do want to. I guess when I hit 330, I think that's my goal. 330 AP. I want to be able to, you know, do what is it? C8, T8 Sangoon
Mm.
to try to get the horse.
Oh,
I think that's my
Voltarion.
personal goal for this year. Yeah.
That's pretty sick. Can confirm. I don't think
Um,
I've seen a single Voltarion yet, so people are still working on that.
that's surprising. Wait, I don't. Wait, is it since it's time get it? I don't think it's even possible to get yet. Maybe.
I believe it's not possible right now, yeah. I believe it's not possible.
Dude, people are gonna be flexing that when it becomes possible.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna see a lot of
Oh,
that. It's gonna be
be
on
so
Reddit
good.
and everything.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it in the world. I think the amount of different mounts I've seen, like especially like the T10s right now,
Mm-hmm.
you can see whatever. Dude, I've seen so many T10 unicorns, and I didn't even think that would be a popular pick.
Oh, Unicorn is a very underrated pick. Uh, I know a lot of unicorn lovers. Quancy, shout out to Quancy. He's a unicorn lover. Alright, today's
Um,
episode is actually going to be a not super long, but a longer episode. We're actually going to do 2 hours today. Uh, we're going to talk about PvE, the state of PvE, and everything that goes around it. That is today's topic. We're going to go over a bunch of the current state of the PvE, future plans of PvE, like the Demon Lands. We're going to go talk about the next Cup event coming out, next patch, all that sort of stuff. So tune in for that. I specialize in PvE content, so I got a lot to yap about. I'll be honest, I got a lot to yap about. So I'm excited for today's episode.
I am excited as well. I am a yapper.
Oh, he
I
is.
can't wait. I can't wait to air out my hot takes. You know.
Oh, oh boy.
Oh boy. This is a grind cast, so we do want to incentivize you guys grinding alongside us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Mega said we're doing 2 hours, so that's the amount of buffs that you guys want to grab. I'm already ready for it. I don't know if you need some time to prepare.
I'm pretty much ready. I'm gonna go over the buffs I'm gonna bring. Where are we grinding today? Frog and Joy 12.
I am grinding at Crescent Shrine. I am
Once
locked
again.
at Crescent Shrine. I know members of my chat understand I'm trying to get 1 mil trash loot here. I still have another 20 hours ahead of me, but we're making steady pace. I think I'm at about 440k. But I'm excited to knock out 2 hours with some good conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am going to be grinding at City of the Dead. I want my telescope. I want it today. Give me my
Uh,
telescope today, please, please, please. If I get a telescope 2 hours, I will freak out. All right, I will freak out. It will happen. I am not. I am not sorry. It will happen. With that being
I'm
said,
not sorry.
I'm going to grab my church buff. Make sure you grab a church buff. Make sure you grab your villa buff if you have a paid tent, a paid to win tent. Make sure you grab your seafood, or not seafood. See, what are we, life skillers? Simple cron meal or exquisite cron meals. Bring your harmony drafts or frenzies. And perfumes if you are bringing any of those. What else did I miss? Did I miss anything?
Make sure that your alchemy stone is filled up, and if you need Dekia fuel, you can grab some of that as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I've been strapped for Dekia fuel. I'm using a lot.
Yeah, what have been melting for a deck you feel?
I've been using I've been tapping and using a lot of the rift items, but when I need to buy stuff, I buy it's the one opposite of the river necklace. It's the yellow one that you get from Nagas.
Oh yeah,
Because that one's the cheapest currently. I think
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Laytons and Ogres were pretty good recently as well.
Yeah, probably Latons and Ogres are pretty valuable. Or they're pretty worth for deck you feel.
Yeah, dude, I'm curious about how much Dekia fuel how much money I lost to Dekia fuel doing this, but I got to do the math for it. I'm excited. I'm so excited to be done with this. Oh, you don't understand.
I think I do
Oh,
understand actually.
dude. I said 1 mil trash jokingly, and Mega's like, "Yeah, 1 mil trash is doable. Like that sounds like a really good video." I never realized how long it's gonna take, bro.
Alright, I'm ready
Uh,
at my grind spot.
I am as well. I was on character select.
Make sure you have your right light stones on. Make sure your bells or your alchemy stone is charged. Make sure you're on the right crystal page and the right add-ons. If it's an Agris spot, make sure you turn on your Agris fever. And also make sure your loot scroll is on when you grind. Lots of checks, we know. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Also, make sure that your armor's repaired. I died earlier because my gloves broke. But
And make sure you repair your armor. That's true.
I think I am ready. Ready when you are.
Awesome. Well, let's start. I'm gonna pop my bus right here. Let's get the show on the road. Popping all of my favorite buffs. Yippee.
Oh, wait, Mega. Just to run it by you, sweet potatoes do expire this week.
That's true.
So
well,
if you have a sweet potato,
the honey one, the honey roasted sweet potatoes.
the honey one, yeah, not the 10-hour.
That's true. That's true. Make sure you pop those. Any listeners out there, make sure you pop them before the event is over, aka today. And I think I'm ready to grind. I think I popped everything I need to pop.
I am as well.
Make sure your pets are out and fed, fellas. They're very important. And pop your bells are too.
Well, yeah. I am good. I'm starting. Alright. PvE. That's the topic. Just a general question. An overarching question. What are your thoughts on PvE currently? Like,
Currently?
where do you sit with it?
So I think PvE currently is it's a little weird spot. I don't think it is currently the best day. I know a lot of players, including myself, have been asking to have more new grind spot instead of just Dekia. Dekia is a big, almost like the go-to for current grind spots when PA makes them. Our most recent one was, what was it? It was, besides the Dark Seekers rework, I believe the last grind spot was Dekia Cadres, and I think it was Dekia Cadres. I believe so. If I'm missing one, let me know. But
Uh,
yeah, it's just
Crescent
a lot of like tower spots. It's like really meta currently.
Crescent came out as the same time as Cadres, correct?
No, Cadres came out a lot after.
Oh dang.
Yeah, it came out like a month or two after. So yeah, it's just the grind is fun, but I would like to. Oh wait, no, I'm so stupid. Dokkaebi and Honglim came out the most recent ones. That was the most recent grind spots, but they're both tower spots, right? Where you just kind of in the same spot and you just stand there. You don't go. There's no rotation really, and you just kind of grind. Hit the mobs. And they both have some kind of AFK mechanic, kind of like how Highlands does, where you stand still, and you just literally stand still, and the grind spell will grind for you, right? And I think it's awesome to have that, but I think too much of that recently just has felt kind of lame, in my opinion. A little harsh words there, maybe.
I think that's a hot take, to be honest.
Yeah.
I from what people say a lot of the time, they enjoy, the standstill grind spots
Hmm.
and AFK mechanics and stuff like that. Um, as a player just getting into Dekia, and consuming a lot of it, I think Dekia overall is something that I think is, I don't want to say healthy for the game. It's enjoyable, but I do wish there was like a spread of spots where you need to move and then spots where
Hmm.
you're able to stand still and do a mechanic.
Yeah. As someone who plays Ninja, I like to move around a lot. That is one of my favorite things to do. I'm a mobile class, right? So not being able to express my mobility in a grind while grinding, it just feels really bad. That's why I really like doing like Tongue Grad or even Dark Seekers, where at least you move between two different packs. Uh, I think that there should be a place for both styles, right? There should be a place for we should have like the standstill spots, like tower spots, like Dekia or like Honglim and or Dokkaebi. We should also have spots like Tongue Grad, where you have to move around a lot more.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I think that like a balance is whenever I think of Elvia, I think of a lot of movement,
Mm,
and
yeah,
stuff like that from pack to pack.
that's
While when I
true.
think of Dekia, I think of standing still at a pillar and killing respawning mobs.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think I would love to see changes to Elvia to make it kind of similar to Dekia in that it has mechanics and stuff like that rather than just run around and kill stuff. Because I feel like Elvia is a little bit dated.
It definitely is a little
Um,
dated, yeah.
I was talking about it with my chat. I think cup grind is it's so boring. It's like a potion piece almost because of how dated the spots feel. But I think that Elvia as a realm could be extremely successful if they were to follow it up with spots that they didn't want to give like a Dekia, right?
Hmm.
I think the big one for me is I wish there was an update to potion pots, like potions and the potion pieces. And I think that Elvia would be a good route that they could go with that. Um, but yeah, no, as somebody who played Zerker, movement would be nice, and I can't get that at Dekia, so I usually would default to Elvia.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
Um,
think that Elvia. I think we've seen less of Elvia and way more Dekia recently because I heard that I'm not too sure if it's true, but I did hear that Elvia actually is a big strain on the servers, and that's why they've been kind of avoiding it. Granted, there's a whole
mm,
different realm, right? While
yeah,
Dekia spots is quite literally go to a spot and then pop an item, and then the mobs spawn. I like the idea of Elvia and Dekia though as a whole, where they kind of reuse the old mobs that you don't see much these days, and kind of like revamp them, right, to make them like super powered. And I think that's really cool. It's smart for them
Yeah,
because they get to reuse assets, and it's smart for us. Well, it's nice for us because we get to see these mobs that we don't really kill often, to be more modernized in a sense, without removing the original spot, right?
yeah. I think when it comes to it, I think that I want to see more Dekia spots, like in all. But I think that some touch ups on other spots would be really, really nice because I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of variety if it's just Dekia spots late game.
Absolutely, yeah. Because we shouldn't. It shouldn't just be Dekia, Elvia, whatever. Uh, from now on, right? And I want to segue to a different topic of the idea of having more mobs, right? As in, well, we are fine with the crit mobs. We want to see, at least personally, me, I want to see new mobs to hit, right? Because I
Yeah,
think that there's so much potential. I think the most recent mob that we're gonna get is probably gonna be the pig grind spot in the Land of Morning Lights.
yeah. I'm excited to see what they do with that
Yeah, I'm excited too. I
because
hope it's not tower spot. I really hope not.
yeah, I think I if it was a rotation spot, I think it would be nice to have a later game spot that is running around. I also would like the Land in the Morning Light not to just be Tower City, right?
Yeah,
Where it's just
exactly.
tower and
Hmm.
tower.
Yeah, I'm super
Um,
excited for that spot.
yeah, and as you know, as we've gotten into more Dekia, I think that the meta for classes has changed, right?
Hmm.
Where classes don't really need a lot of movement, right? Like I'm playing Suck Guardian, and I kind of just get to full combo and hit mobs, while like my Zerker, I've been saying it, I've been ranting to you, I just don't feel like Suck Zerker feels good at all. Because I don't need to move, I just kind of need to do as much DPS as I can.
Yeah, you're quite literally just like a big tower. A tower versus tower, essentially.
Yeah, it's just it's frustrating, but I can understand that, they found success and they want to keep doing it.
Hmm. I don't think it's anything they
I
should get rid of. Just definitely just need to be more, just have more variety, right? That's all we gotta ask for.
Even if it's like a mechanic, right? Like I think a mechanic could make something like this a lot more fun.
Hmm.
Because even something like Gyphon, right? Undies is it's like a glorified tower spot almost, but it has a unique mechanic that has you, run around and do
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true. Yeah, it's like a weird mix of like a tower and a rotating grind spot. It has like
Yeah.
both elements essentially. Yeah. The nice thing about tower spots is that we can have, or at least the devs can actually implement more rotations because of the fact that there's quite literally less land being used, right? So it allows for more players to grind at the same spot at a time. Well, compared to like some, I don't know, like Bloody Monastery, right? Or Pungrad, where there's only like maybe like three good rotations. And I think that's a big factor on why they've been choosing to do a lot of tower spots also.
Yeah. Um I was talking on it. I think that there's a lot of spots where I personally I only know one rotation, and I don't know if there's any other rotation that I could grind. Uh, if I'm like if I'm over farming it, right? So it's like I don't know if there's another grind at Olin's, but with how fast people do Olin's now, I think that it would be there's only one big rotation, right?
Uh, I believe that's. I want to say that's correct. Yeah. I think another big
So
factor for tower spots is that it's also easier to balance, right? Where sometimes this happened in the past many times, right? But some rotations are just like quote unquote meta, and they just pull more trash because for multiple reasons, right? Either there's more elites in that rotation, or there's more the packs are closer, so you can kill them movement faster, right? You can move to pack a lot faster, uh, and other things like that, right? So because of that, it also takes less time to develop as a developer, and it also is a lot easier to balance in terms of like, okay, you can recognize what the problem is a lot easier because there's less factors to consider because there's no such thing as rotation, right?
Yeah.
So they can
I
pump out
think
more spots like that as the power spots.
I can understand that. Um, but I feel like there are just things in the game that don't make sense to me. If anybody watches Duodecil, I watched his video on trolls, and some packs just straight up don't spawn as many enemies. They're just less efficient, not by rotation, but just because the game doesn't spawn the enemies that it should. Or, I mean, maybe it's a developer choice. It just spawns less enemies just because. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes it so that late game or end game, even though there's 7 rotations available, only 2 of them are viable, right? If you want to pull maximum trash. And I feel like that makes things contested. And I don't understand why that would be a thing, right? Because, like, I don't know if anybody's counted. There's a chance that one Dekia spot's better than another, right? Um, I think that doesn't make sense to me. I think that would be frustrating in balancing and stuff like that. Even if it takes less time, stuff like that will slip through the cracks.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like the troll things you were talking about. Yeah, it's just I don't know exactly why. It could be an oversight. It could be many different factors. But
It could also be that it's
mhm.
just to make an easier pack, right?
Yeah, it could be
For
intended.
players with less gear score. Yeah.
There's a
But
lot of factors to it. Yeah.
unfortunately we can't talk to the people who made it, right? So
Yeah.
it's just up to our interpretation.
Exactly. Exactly. But with that being
Overall,
said,
though,
though, like the
well,
Land of Morning Lights grind spots with a new pig spot. I mean, they said it's coming out. We don't know when it's coming out, but they said it's coming out. I heard that there's a mechanic on it where it essentially is not a group grind spot, but if multiple people are grinding at that spot, there's like this big golden pig that like is on top of like a mountain or like a little pillar kind of thing, and it racks up like points, right? As the grind people are grinding on it, and at a point it will explode and everyone can loot from it who are grinding around it. And I think that's like really cool mechanic. And I'm really excited to see how that's gonna turn out.
yeah, I'm excited to see how they balance that, and
Hmm.
if it's like an equal thing, right? Like I grind more than you. Um, if I still get the same amount of money as you, and
Yeah.
how that's gonna go around, especially because like if this is a spot that does become meta, I'm excited to see like parties that are just like, yeah, we're gonna go do 4 hours at the pig because
Yeah.
it gives the most money in the game or
It
whatever.
also is like there's a chance that it can be exploitable, right? So
Yeah,
I'm sure they're testing on that too. That's a big part. Like, if there's one thing PA really does not like happening is exploiting on things, right? And
yeah,
that seems like something that could easily exploit it. Cough cough mapping. Cough cough.
mapping.
Mapping. You know what mapping is?
What do you mean? No.
Mapping was a term created by players. It was an old event where new players could log in and gain a map
Oh,
for the guild, and the guild can run it, and it would give like crazy rewards, right? So, and for some reason, the game was free during that time because of like a sale event, whatever, and people were botting accounts and making crazy amount of maps, putting into guild storage and leaving, and that created a whole thing. People would merc in to get crazy rewards and stuff. People got into trillions of debt by that. I think that's so funny.
you know, in today's BDO standards, that's not that much, man.
Yeah, it's like a
Inflation
little
be hitting.
it's a little change, yeah. It's a little pocket change.
You know, I know I've talked to you about it. the current state of the PvE economy, it frustrates me.
How so?
I feel like a year ago, when I was playing the game, like when I first got into the game and I'm grinding these spots, I ended up getting the lower Gyphon, right? And lower Gyphon at the time was just perma filled. It was the best spot for people to grind like multiple hours at. It was really, really nice. It was permanently filled. Forest Furies were min price. There was thousands on the market.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I can't tell you the last time somebody's ever said, oh, I did an hour at Undies without wanting XP. Like, Undies has fallen to be not even close to the best spot in the game. And I feel like the amount of money gotten per hour has nearly doubled, right? I used to say 1 bill an hour was like crazy, right?
Hmm.
And now people are saying, 2 bill an hour, 2.5 bill an hour. That's like what I'm aiming for. And that to me is like, it's a complete disconnect because I feel like it's not inherently inflation, but there is more money coming into the economy, especially through trash, right? So you getting like 1.1 bill in trash an hour at some endgame spots. It just feels like it's a lot, and it's changed the market so much that it was jarring when I came back, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine how a new player entering the game feels versus their friend who started 6 months earlier or their friend that started a year earlier, how they felt when they first started the game. I don't know. I feel good because I'm getting more money, but also it's like I kind of miss when it was like, oh, I'm only getting 1 mil an hour or 1 bill an hour or like 1.2 bill an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah. I think a big part of that is why money goes up in new grind spots is because if people don't have a reason to grind new spots, especially in this game, right? There's no reason why people would do something if it doesn't give enough rewards. And I think having more money per hour is just simply the easiest way that you can entice people to come in, right? Except for like maybe like new accessories or new items, right? But besides those, it's only just money, right? Especially in a game right now where to enhance that end game, you just kind of need crons, and crons equals money, right? More money
Yeah.
equals more taps, and more taps means faster you can get up there. So it's similar to like power creep, right? Like it's our class power creep in this game. We get grind spot power creep, right? Essentially, how much money we can make per hour. It's always a
Yeah.
competition on that.
I think, yeah, a part of it also is just that, a player's gear score will just go up over time.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore it'll make it so that they can grind new spots or old spots more efficiently, equaling more money, right? I just think that I would love to see well, I don't want to say new artifacts, right? But new artifacts, new accessories, or other things that are useful to a player that isn't just, raw silver or wanting to get drops to sell for raw silver.
Yeah, like different items to grind for is definitely the way I think. But it actually is kind of a weird scenario currently because with the additions of Karazat and Sovereign, more closer to Karazat actually, where Karazat is supposed to be a one size fits all kind of accessory, and doesn't really have a I guess purpose in saying in terms of like a specific reason why you would get the Karazat. Because when you have the Karazats, you can have those Gen crystals on the bottom of your crystal page that can fit to you whatever playstyle. Do you want DP? Do you want evasion? Do you want accuracy? Right? You just replace those, and you still use your same Karazats, right? So there's no reason to get a different accessory. You would just get a different crystal to slot that in. And that creates a hierarchy of why would you never use a Karazad realistically. And it's kind of hard to, unless they create a tier above Karazad that goes above and beyond, it's kind of hard to create more accessories. It's more realistic, in my opinion, to see more Jin crystals being added rather than new accessories, which I'm okay with to grind for. but it wouldn't feel the same.
True. I think that I think making Jin crystals the end game, the end goal, I feel like it kind of misses the mid game players. They don't have access to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you're kind of thrown into Karazad, which is by base, right, a 6 bill investment, and then you have to, you know, grind up just Krons and Dons, which Dons aren't even on the market currently. You're just kind of stuck in that purgatory until you're able to grind the other spots, and then once you get to the other spots, it just kind of makes grinding Dons and Krons easier. It doesn't really do much. There isn't really that loop of getting new accessory or tapping something or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to grind something besides like Kabuas. I think that's the only thing that you Kabuas and like a Tor shoes are really the beginning of late game, and that is the only thing that you're really grinding for until maybe you get like Olin's Olin's artifacts
Yeah, the
or
Deki
something.
artifacts. And that's only for PvP. Like, you would never use the Deki artifacts for PvP or PvE. So if you're not interested in doing any PvP, the Deki accessories are quite useless.
True. I just
So
think
yeah, it's just
the
it's a
late game
really
is kind of
weird
crazy.
scenario where like PA like in a weird way they kind of dug their own grave in terms of like where do we progress from here, right? Because their answer was so correct that there's no reason to make another answer. But because of that, that's bad for the game because no updates.
Yeah. And I
So
think especially what leans into that is like the lock behind like things like Fallen God is such a hard thing to balance with that is because like you get Fallen God so early that it kind of locks you into that, and there isn't something that I think PA can do with that that would make it change for like late game or end game, right? That I
uh
think
if
is
if Pen Fallen God wasn't so insanely hard to get, I think there's a very good chance that they could have just created another higher tier armor. But because Pen Fallen God exists as a near impossible, like miraculous decision or miraculous enhancement that people do have, so it's not like no one has it, right? People do have it. How do you create an armor piece that's harder than that that doesn't also negate the accomplishments that the people who actually got it, right? And it's such a weird spot because if they like options are okay, they add a new armor set above Fallen God, but that means you have to get Pen Fallen God. Okay, so how do you bridge the gap between Ted and Pen Fallen God? You can do like a gaudier system, right? Where you can have like a smaller, like incremental gains towards Pen Fallen God. But that's even hard too, because it's so ridiculously hard to get Pen Fallen God that you would need realistically way more steps in order to bridge the gap to do a gaudier method essentially. And it just wouldn't feel good as a player to go through an entire crazy hustle to get Pen Fallen God.
true. I think that I don't know. I think that I hope they add a way or like an armor difference to fill that idea of getting an armor equivalent to Pen Fallen God, but I just don't think that I don't know. I just don't think it's feasible. I I can understand maybe converting to a deck sort of system, but I feel I feel like it takes away too much from it, or it becomes too easy. And then if it's still hard, right? Like imagine if hitting Nov was still the same percent as Pen Fallen God, what does that mean for deck?
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean for a lot of players in their end game? Where, it's already Kron City. Does that just worsen it? Like, does that just make the canyon deeper? Like, what happens with that?
I hate to interrupt right now, but it seems like your stream has died. So if you want to check on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know. I just beat out. My Firefox has crashed. Um, um, now we're chilling. We can continue.
Okay, make sure. Just get your stream up as soon as possible. Let me know when your stream is back up.
I don't know if I can do the co-stream
Oh,
because my stream was perfectly fine before, and then co-stream knocked it off. So it's okay if we don't do shared chat.
I would like to try it.
We can. Honestly, I wish there was shared chat on Opera.
Yeah, I wish so too.
That would just be my life because I don't have to have two browsers open at that point.
I have 3 browsers open.
Okay, well, you have a good computer, man.
No.
Somebody just hit a Tetnark. Somebody just hit a Tetnark in my guild.
Yeah, they're gaming, man. Knock knock.
It's that easy. I accept it.
Thank you for telling us, guys. Shout out to chat. W chat.
I think my stream is just dead.
The stream's working to me. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
It's all good. No knock knock. We can continue. I have your chat open, so we're chilling.
Okie dokie.
It's okay. This will be edited out.
This will not be edited out.
What the fuck? Okay, my bad. Knock knock.
Are we knocking?
No. No, I was reading chat.
Okay.
Yeah, back on topic. I just don't know what the future of armor is. And it really frustrates me because I don't want to. Well, first off, I have to hit tries. I have to hit tries, I have to hit tets. But once I get to tets, right? Like, that's the strongest DP I'll be.
Yeah, pretty much. And again, this goes back to what I said earlier about how the heck will PA I want players to grow or increase their gear score DP wise from here, right? Besides hitting Pen Fallen God, there's no other way. And like I said earlier, Pen Fallen God is a complete different ball game than any other upgrade in the game. So that is something I am nervously looking forward to what they will do, what decision they decide to do in the end. I hope that they are smarter than me and they can figure out a method that is good.
True. If there's a company that I trust to do it, I think it would be PA. I think they have learned a lot. And I think that they've tried enough to where I think they'll land on something that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is, right, maybe they add another slot, man. Maybe they add something else, right? I understand the legacy of Fallen God, but with Sovereign and Deck and all these other things, it makes me wonder, like, what they would do. Like, what would they do? If they could do it again, I think that they would do something completely different.
Yeah, I think what you said about a new, what do you call it? A new slot would be viable. At least as a way to kind of like bridge a gap between gear gains of your normal gear gains. Kind of like how artifacts didn't exist in the beginning and artifacts became a thing in the end. Well, it doesn't contribute to your actual gear score. It gives you a lot of different, like, a lot of different options and powers and stats that you could opt into.
I I would love to see. Well, first off, touching on artifacts, I think artifacts. I don't think I could live without artifacts. They're so good.
Yeah, I think artifacts
But
were one of the best things made. Artifacts and items.
I think that I think the end game or the late game of there being different variants of Kabua, right? Different stat variants, or Kabua equivalents for DR or something like that. I think would be extremely cool.
Mhm.
Like if it was more defensive heavy, or if there was one that's more offensive heavy, and you're able to swap between them for the spots that you need or whatever. Um, and also with just that being added, I think that the upper limit of how much damage a spot can do can go up and stuff like that. I think there's so much that can be branched out off of that, especially with the Demon Lands coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love in games. I love being able to be defensive, and I think that the options in this game are quite limiting.
Yeah.
Without going full DP meme, right?
In terms of PvP, PvE, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if I were to sacrifice, I don't think there's anything on my person right now that I could sacrifice. That I would be okay with sacrificing to gain more tankiness, even if I'm grinding a little bit slower, something like that.
I mean, you could always equip a DP Gin Crystal instead of an AP one.
True, but also that's like 40 bill.
That's also true. It's very expensive.
That's
mhm.
half of a black star, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Those Gin
insane.
Crystals are pretty expensive. A little crazy expensive, in my opinion. We touched upon Demon Lands a bit. Let's talk about that, as that's the next confirmed area we've received. Demon Lands is meant to be the end game grind spot at the current time. But it also is meant to be a PvEVP grind spot. And what does that mean, right? What that means is that you fight players alongside mobs, right? And this, besides the open world factor, right? Obviously, it's a given. This is the first time we're actually seeing anything like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's cool. I think that it is not for everybody. I think that this is a spot that you can't really recommend to a player,
Mm-hmm.
because of the dynamic of it, right? Having both players and mobs attacking you is going to be, it's an experience. It is something that is absolutely unique to only that spot, and I'm looking forward to metas coming out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because especially if it's an end game grind spot, you're gonna have to have a lot of AP. You're gonna have to have a lot of monster damage, sustainability, whatever, and that will take away from somebody who's rocking like full like PvP gear. You have to play for that. You have to think about that sort of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and I wonder how they're gonna do that,
Yeah, I
because that I
wonder.
feel like is the hardest thing to do.
I wonder if they're gonna make the mobs a little easier actually, compared to like Dolan's 2 right now, as Dolan's 2 or Dark Seekers currently. Uh, as you can, like we said earlier, you can opt into a more defensive build, and maybe that could be more optimal there because of the fact that it's a PvP zone also. Uh, so making the mobs easier, having a lower AP cap or whatever the case might be, having the mobs easier would allow players to have more different builds to fight the players alongside the mobs, right?
True. I think it would be cool if there was more than one. Like, okay, if there was more than one grind zone, or if it was the same grind zone, but monsters respect differently. One
Mm.
grind zone is going to have squishier mobs, and that's going to be like a more popular zone than maybe a zone that requires you to have 330 AP and a crazy amount of DP, and then you're trying to balance killing those mobs along with players. I think it could be very, very unique
Yeah.
in pushing endgame players into a challenge that they've never faced before, right?
Yeah. 100%. I one of the biggest or not concerns. One of the biggest complaints that recent players have with PvE and open world is the fact that in order to grind these high-end spots currently, you have to full spec into PvE gear with add-ons and crystals. But the problem is that if you ever get ganked in the open world, there's no realistic way to fight them. Granted, they're similar gear score to you. There's no realistic way to fight them because you're so spec into PvE, you're just at a clear disadvantage, and it's very frustrating to feel like that because you can't like mid grind you can't swap to PvP that easily. It's not that simple, and multiple for latitudes of reasons, right? So having this spot as like a PvE VE, I'm quite excited to see where this brings us to, because it essentially is an open world, permanent open world grind spot, and with that being in mind, they can design it so the mobs aren't going to be as hard to deal with, and you wouldn't need a full AP like 1,300 AP crystal like setup.
Yeah, I think there's a lot they could do with it. Even things like if they were to, I don't know, maybe change the spot every once in a while. Like if the spot was dynamic, or if something were to change that would make you spec differently, and that would change the PvP aspect as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're running that same gear, I think the Demon Lands could be so cool. I
Yeah,
think it could be one of the best spots in the game.
it has a
Like
lot of potential. I agree.
it also could be messed up really bad though.
Yeah, I think that's why they're a little concerned on releasing it so quickly. Because I know a lot of people, I'm sure they're aware that we're excited for it. Uh, but they have to pull out carefully just to make sure. So I hope we see
I
it
think
this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like late this year.
I would think that they would probably shoot for a mid this year, because
Hmm.
there is so much other content that they were talking about releasing at the ball, and then that would lead up until the ball, right? Because there's a ball in the middle of the year
Yep, I like hideable.
that they can be like, "Hey, this is coming out."
Hmm.
Right? We full fleshed it. We practiced, like we did everything, we tested, and I think that could be extremely cool. Um, and the thing that I just never really thought about was, what if there's just they want you to run PvP gear and they just give you PvE buffs while you're in there,
Mm.
right? That could be extremely cool,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Because
another way
then there
to
is no need to
compensate.
swap.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's another good way to compensate for the lack of needing to switch. But it's not just add-ons, right? It's crystals. It's even builds, right? Like let's say you're playing your normal AP build that you're used to, and you fight like an evasion Zerker, or not Zerker, evasion striker, or evasion mystic, or whatever, right? Evasion something. And then now you don't have any AP crystals, so you need to swap crystal pages, right? So having that
Oh,
kind of like those kind of stats, like it seems kind of a little rough to fight.
also, I wonder how they're going to do uh pocket tries.
Oh yeah, that's a big part too. That's absolutely a big part.
If I were to have a pocket shy when I enter, right? That's it would be insane. Or if the meta, right, were to become ganking, where it's just a 2v1, and then you just let your friend take over the spot while you just AFK on the side,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, brings, but
Stuff like that.
yeah, like
But
old orcs.
I hope, and this is coming from somebody that won't even enter the Demon Lands, I hope there is gated content. I hope there is something that is tied to the Demon Lands that is not on market, and you have to get there. Whether it's a treasure piece, whether it's, you know, artifacts, if it's like gins for your Karazad, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I want there to be something. I want there to be a reason to go there over going and safely grinding it, another Dekia spot or something like that, right?
Yeah, a non-purchasable item would be kind of awesome to grind there.
I got a demo! I got a demo!
I got a limbo earlier. I just didn't see it.
Ooh! Why don't you say it, man?
Because you're a mid talk.
Man, I'm okay with you interrupting me if it's for a limbo. Dude, a limbo is a bill. Yeah, that's just straight up a bill.
That's true. It is a bill. You're absolutely correct.
I'd scream if I got a bond, let alone a limbo.
But yeah,
What a
the demon is gonna be super interesting. I'm super excited for that. It's gonna be a whole when that comes out. It's gonna be a whole different era of video. I think it will actually be an era shifting update, which is kind of crazy to think about.
I really wonder how that's gonna affect. And it's this entire idea that every player that you come across in this game has their own journey.
Hmm.
The places that they grinded, their favorite spots, the way that they built up their gear, whatever. I really wonder how that's going to affect some people's journeys, because if somebody is like I'm a PvP fanatic, I really want to get into PvP, I wonder how they're going to go about it if that's their end goal, right? Or if that is the end goal PvP, maybe that just takes over and it kills Node War. We don't know. There's a world where that may happen or something like that. Not saying that Node War is going to die, but like I really wonder how the impact that this is going to have on the community, like the impact it's going to have on PvP, PvE. Like it's such a big update. Like I can't believe that they would just drop something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's
just
crazy.
it's man. And I will never do it. I'll never PvP. Oh.
You mentioned earlier a different treasure, and that's an awesome topic to talk about. As I'm grinding for the telescope for myself, I decided myself that I will be gathering every single treasure that's grindable. So the compass I already have, the telescope, the archaeologist map, and the merchant ring, the rich merchant ring. All are things I will be planning to get eventually. But I think a lot of players who already have all those, who already ahead the curve, they're looking for more treasures, and I think having another treasure spot is gonna be or a new treasure to grind for specifically would be a really good thing. Uh, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it would be cool to have a new treasure. I would want the new treasure to be equivalent to something like a compass, a telescope, a map, right?
Hmm.
A merchant ring. It has to have some oomph to it, right? Especially if you're trying to convince these players to spend hundreds of hours to do it. I mean, 400 hours at City of the Dead, I can't imagine. So, for me to want to grind it, it has to hold some sort of weight. And I
True.
don't
Yeah.
know what they could do. And especially if they're adding it to this place, it may be even better than the other treasure pieces. That's going to be a hard place to grind, right? And not saying City of the Dead is like easy, but also, places like Pila Ku or City of the Dead or like Akhman Histria, they're not the hardest things to get into. You can get into them quite early compared to places like, DSR.
Hmm.
So if this place is the true end game, I wonder, like there's no telling what a treasure piece from there could be.
Yeah.
Like it could be like actually game changing.
It could be. Yeah. I also wouldn't want to be mandatory because that would be the worst feeling, right? Because the infinite potions used to be a treasure piece, right? The same way as the compass was, where you had to get the 3 rare drops from the different spots. But it became a thing that people always grinded for because how important health potions were. And the idea of never buying a potion ever again was something that was it was passing the line of quality of life and just more of a necessity. And that's why they created the pity pieces for the infinite potions, right? So I hope that it's not a necessity to have, because I believe that treasure should never be a necessity, only a flex, obviously, and a big quality of life, but never deemed as mandatory feeling.
Yeah, I think it's nice that potions, even if you don't want to grind out the potions, right? Even after you get the 100 Atanus elements, you can still buy them on the market. And I think that a lot of treasures would lose their value, or they just wouldn't feel as prestigious of getting if you're just able to, spend 25 bill and get it on the market
Yeah.
and whatnot. But with potions, I think it's justified. I think there are other things that I would like to be on the market and stuff like that. Not any of the treasures, but well, I guess the lantern, the horse lantern for wagons. For some people that's just absolutely useless. Because they just don't train horses or they're permanently fishing. While like a telescope, I feel like you have to grind out the telescope meaningfully. Like you have to go out of your way to go and grind those things.
Yeah, that's true. I think selling the lantern would also. I know a lot of life skills love to flex. They're big flexers, right? And
Of course.
I think if you have any not telescope, any treasure piece being sellable, I think that would be a little disheartening for them. Because if you have it, you know that you worked for it, right? The reason why the
Yeah.
HP potions and the mana potions, the infinite ones obviously, were sellable is because they weren't because the fact that they were not transferable to other characters easily. You could do it like their storages, but it was hard to do it. So people like to make they went out of the way to make 2 health potions, 2 mana pots or whatever for their tags and slash or for like hunting else or whatever, right? So it was a way for PA to say, hey, we know you guys worked on this, and we know we are adding a pity system, so it'll be a lot easier. You can sell your old ones, and you can sell your old ones for money, and you'll be able to use your family inventory as to put your potions in, right? So I think that was the reason why they made it sellable in the first place. I think that if that was not possible for some reason, I think that we wouldn't be able to sell it. But because people made multiple, I think that's why it exists like that.
I know that you were saying that you're gonna go for all the grindable treasures.
Yeah.
Technically, you could grind horses to sell for the lantern, to Imperial for the lantern. Are you gonna ever drop fishing and go for the lantern?
No, the lantern I am not interested in. When I mean grindable,
Okay,
I mean like I use my combat abilities.
Well, I don't know. Maybe one day you retire from fishing. There's
It's
a
possible.
chance.
It's possible, yeah.
Maybe you just become a horse fanatic. Maybe you start dating a horse girl. And she's
Okay.
just like, God, do it for me.
What a wild world that would be.
What, man? Nay.
Alright. Anyways. There's a new event coming up next patch. If you look at the Southeast Asia patch notes, the Cup event's coming back. Not a new event, I suppose, but a returning event. If you need a cup, this is a good time to be grinding, where you can get basically cup fragments at any grind spot. Very, very good. Do you need cups, Ethan?
Yes. Yes. Yes, I need a lot of cups.
Are you excited for the event?
I will be grinding all of my cups.
That's a very good time to grind it.
Okay. I was yelling at my chat. I mean yelling. I was like, every single person in this chat that does not have cups, if you are not grinding for this cup event, you're missing out.
That's true. Yeah.
This event, the cups, dude, I don't even know. I think I was getting 18 an hour at Rudum's when the cup event was last dropped. And with so many more spots being available, you should just get your cups. It is just free money. And even if, right, you already have cups, it's just free money. 200 fragments is 5 bill. after the cups go back up because the cup event's going to crash them.
Yeah.
I'm just going to buy the cups. Wait, hold up. I'm just going to buy the cups.
Smart.
And then I'm just going to save mine.
Smart.
And then I'll sell them when they get max price again. Wait, hold up, chat. Maybe this is an investment. Like, this event is such a big event, I don't think people understand how big this event is. I die on this hill. I think this is the best event in the game.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe the treasure piece event.
Ooh.
You know what? I take it back. But hear me out. Just grind. Chat, just grind. Literally, podcast listeners, just grind. It is the best event. You make so much money.
That's true.
Please.
It's
Please.
very, very good.
Please.
It is definitely a fan favorite event for sure. Because
Shout out to whoever made it.
it also reduces. It's not about even like the fact that you get cups. It's the fact that you don't need to go out of your way to get your cups. So you can work on your whatever upgrade you're working on and get cups at the same time.
I got a ring of crescent.
I saw that. Congrats.
No. Dude, I think I've pulled more rings of crescent than I've pulled Debos. And they're like 6 times as rare.
Oh, someone got a demo at Crescents. So.
Okay, come on, man. But please, I'm so excited for the cup event. I think I need to retire from the Minecraft server to just play the cup event.
It is kind of big. I would definitely recommend all my friends and listeners to grind during the cup event.
Can you explain the event? Okay, this is for a chatter in the Twitch chat. Make sure to watch the podcast live. The cup event works like this. When you kill a mob, there's a chance for them to drop an event fragment. And you can either trade a total of, I think it's 1 of the fragments for a shard for a cup, which it takes 200 in total to make a cup. Or you can spend 150 to get the full cup at a 25% discount.
I believe it's 200, no?
I thought it was 150.
I can check right now.
Wait, I'm doing it.
It's 200. It's still 200.
Okay, I scammed you. Oh no, it is at a discount because it doesn't require the other material.
Yeah. But the charge is still 200. Yeah.
I think it was maybe it was a 25% discount when I did it. I remember it was something crazy, but it saves you a lot of time. And keep in mind, with the meta grinding for shards and stuff like that, you should be making probably 15 to 20 an hour, and you're getting the equivalent amount of shards at most grind spots. Like, I know people were pulling crazy amounts of shards last time I was on. They were pulling like 25 an hour at Polly's, which is insane. That's a cup every 8 hours, which a cup is 5 bill. Keep in mind. It's an insane event. This event is propelling so many players forward in the game without making them grind Fogans. Fogans is terrible. I hate Fogans.
Yeah, it's the fact that you can... The idea of I don't need to grind at the specific spot to get this. I can grind at every other spot that I want to and still progress on my cups. It just is a lot more of a time sink than a lot of people think. It's insanely very, very, very good. And you can do whatever you want. And you can still work on your cups. That's awesome.
It's insane. I'm kicking my feet just thinking about it. Yeah. I hate Fogans. What are you gonna do? Wait, okay. What are you gonna do with the cup event?
I'll probably just sell them. There's nothing else to do it, right?
Are you going? Okay. Are you going to keep them and sell them once they reach back to full price, or are you gonna sell them now?
It depends on the market because it's not guaranteed to drop. But if it does crash quickly, I'll just sell it or just keep it. Sorry, and then sell it later. But if it doesn't crash too much, I don't mind a few hundred mil loss. It's not a big deal for me.
Okay. Yeah, because it'll take like a few weeks for it to recover at least. So.
Yeah.
I'm getting down to the last 5 minutes of my hour.
Yeah, I got last 3 minutes left on Mace.
So I'm gonna be repopping buffs because we're gonna be doing another hour. If you guys are finishing, make sure to turn off your continuous care. You can turn off your alchemy stone if it already popped. and then I don't know, maybe continue listening. Smile.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so excited for the cup event. That got me riled up, man. I love the cups.
The cups are awesome. Speaking of cups, I was thinking about the other day. Another gear upgrade that PA could do is add more different types of cups, or even an upgrade to our current existing cups. I know that we already have 2 tiers in a sense, but in the future, right? Could be another possible addition.
You'd imagine DR or evasion cups.
Well, there's Monster DR cups. Oh, there's DR cups actually, not just Monster DR cups.
Imagine they add evasion cups.
I would not be happy.
Dude, I have been having this bug at Crescents where some of the mobs get stuck in the pillar and then they just kill themselves.
Huh.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I hope that's not hindering your grinding.
I wanted to ask you. We have this little notepad that we discuss about. Oh,
You good?
hello?
Hello? I hear you.
No! No! I lagged and I died.
Oh, that's tragic.
Oopsies. Minus a dogged patience.
Oh, that's not that bad. How much are dogs? They're like 100 something mil? Yeah, they're 100 mil.
Yeah, I
You're
think they're
fine.
like
They're
8.
min price. 2,000 at min price.
No.
You're fine.
Rest in peace. Yeah, no, I was gonna throw this. You were asking about enough customizations in our class gameplay style.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to ask what that was about.
Yeah, so one of our viewers actually asked a question in the Discord down below. Said or asked if we believe there's enough customizations in our class the way we can play it, right? In the sense of like, I believe they're talking about like awakening and succession, and or I guess that's mainly it, right? In our class having 2 different specs. It could also be a question for like customization in terms of like colors and skins and stuff like that, right? And outfits. We can talk about both of them. Why not?
Sure. Um, when it comes to gameplay, I feel like obviously there's good abilities and bad abilities on a character, right? You know, it's like this game's like a fighting game, right? Frame data.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of the customization comes in the skill add-ons because
That's true.
if you're able to make a build for a character that that just plays well, even if it's not optimal, I feel like you can do it. I know I've been talking about. I miss, before Choice uploaded a video telling everybody that Claws was the highest DPS thing on Suck Zerker. Because it is. I used to have a build where I would just pop buff and spin, and it was so much fun. But now it kind of feels bad because it's suboptimal, right? It does less damage than if I were to do the optimal Zerker combo. But it's still viable.
Mm-hmm.
You could still do it. I think that if you kind of like an ability on a character and you want to full spec into, a combo with it, I feel like you can.
Yeah, I think skill add-ons is one of the most expressive parts about video in terms of combat, because you can cater it to how you want to do it. It's like adding perks to your abilities, right?
Yeah.
And you can customize exactly how you want to fight it or fight with it. That's how, especially any high skill ceiling classes, you see different mains play them, and they all play them in a different way. Honestly, obviously they're not like completely different, but there's very like distinct playstyles, and I think that's really unique because of the skill add-ons, right?
Yeah. I think also it depends on the class. because a lot of classes have a lot of skill expression in this game. Not every class is, Awakening Striker. And then there's a lot of classes that are kind of just telegraphed. Like, what a Suck Zerker wants to do. I think that the skill expression behind how they do it is what makes the player a lot. Like, I'm going to use the example. I'm going to dog on Mega real quick. Block Jump just plays a different champion than Mega does, a different class, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And then, what's his name? Armin plays the same class as Block Jump, and then he looks like a completely different player. I've seen both their montages. It's crazy. So I think depending on your class will determine that. I think I'm very happy with every class that I've picked up in the game and how I can make them my own.
Yeah, 100%. And whenever you play these classes, you always it always seems to be people asking about, hey, I'm learning this class, can I see your add-ons, right? Because one, they want a quick, easy a quick, easy guide to start, grinding or whatever it might be. But they also see what you do with your add-ons and why you put this add-on on this ability. It's kind of like reading into a book of oh, okay, well this guy clearly wants to use this long-range ability to prep this ability or to give the skill add-ons from the ability so they can go in, right? But some classes don't even use that ability at all on the skill add-ons, and there's more of a melee playstyle, whatever it could be, right? I'm using a really rough example, but being able to dissect skill add-on pages is very interesting to look at because you can kind of see what they're aiming for to do.
I think also it kind of goes into if you've ever watched a tutorial for any class, I know that I consumed when I started this game so many Suck Zerker tutorials, and I was so confused because every single one of them would do a different system of buttons, right? Especially with Raboms, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are Raboms on Zerker that I believe I cannot live without, but there are players that are still out here pulling trash more than me that just aren't using it. They're using non-meta things, they're using things that they just like. And when it comes down to it, I mean, BDO is a sandbox MMO. It doesn't matter what you do. If you like it, I think that you could probably make it happen.
Absolutely, yeah. I think skill add-ons are awesome. I wonder if they'll ever add more skill add-ons in the future.
I wonder if they're happy with skill add-ons.
I think they're pretty happy, yeah, at this current state.
I really enjoy skill add-ons. I think skill add-ons are so cool, and over time, I've come to understand them so much more.
Yeah, honestly, for a little inside of me, I never really paid attention to skill add-ons much when I started this game, and only recently, maybe in the last 2 years, out of my 7 years playing, right? I've only really sit down and learn skill add-ons and what they actually entail. I always treat them like room pages in League or people just random one. I'm like, okay, I'll just copy it and I'm good to go. But once you actually start reading them and start understanding them, you you really start understanding why you run this, and then from there you can kind of switch on your own playstyle. You can edit the ones you like. Oh, well, I don't really like using this ability very well here, but I think this ability has a lot more usage, so I'm gonna switch this add-on to this skill and get the buffs from this ability. And I think that's super awesome. Something,
Yeah,
it's a thing that we can share as a community to each other too, and I think that's also another community thing, right, where we can share our own builds essentially.
Yeah, and I think with comparing it to League, right? Off meta is a thing in League, and I think that there's definitely off meta players in this game that probably use abilities that people didn't even think to use.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I think understanding, reading your skill add-ons, especially if you learn your character, right, what abilities give you what buff, skill add is just another layer to an onion for that, right?
Exactly.
It's so cool. This game's combat and their system, they hit the nail on the
They
head with it,
cooked.
man.
They cooked.
They cooked. It's so good.
With
Um,
other talk about customization, I want to talk a bit more of the cosmetic side because I think there's a lot of talk about this, but I know a lot of players have been asking for effect customization, right? How do you feel about that?
I want effect customization, but I understand the hesitance to add it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I literally was talking about this yesterday, but there is a version of the Guardian that is found at Jade that when it spawns, it has ice effects. It is so cool. I'm a sucker for ice. And it's already in the game. It's coded to the Guardian's moves. I want it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand that it would absolutely mess with PvP like effect clutter. And it would change the game. Unironically, it is such a big update. I think it would impact the game forever.
Mm-hmm. If you didn't
But
know, there's actually one outfit that changes abilities colors, and it is the Shy's outfit. There's one Shy outfit. I believe it's like hip hop scotch. I'm not sure what it's called, but it converts the Shy's abilities from blue to yellow, which is very, very unique. And I believe that is the only skin in the game that changes the abilities colors. And it's visual for all players too. It's not just a personal one. What would you think if what would you think if PA did more things like that to outfits?
I think it would be insane. I think, the whole, players say it, end game is drip or drown.
Sure.
Um, I think that it would add another layer to that, especially if certain effects are tied to certain pieces of clothing,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I think that you could have one of the most in-depth character customization options in any MMO ever if that was just an option, right? Like if I was able to change some abilities to ice depending on outfits or change the color of my lightning depending on outfits, I would buy that would make me so much more inclined to buy them. Like I'm
Mm.
already hesitant to buy them. I'll cave when there's a really sick outfit like BD9, but like the second you get into effects, because that affects my gameplay so much more, it's just so cool. It would
Yeah.
be so.
I think I think having a effect changing outfit would be awesome. I would personally want more of those, and I think that it would be really good for even like the marketing team because they can do a lot more with it, right? And people
I
love
think
cosmetics.
I think they could tie it to weapons.
Oh, like weapon
I
skins.
think,
Oh, weapon skins.
yeah,
That's smart. That's smart.
because maybe I want to run my BD9 outfit. I can change the weapon, and I can have these different effects that I think match or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's so many options, and I want PA to realize that they have so many options and choose what they believe would be the healthiest for the game moving forward. Because I know that a lot of players are torn on it. Also, I believe that unlike other games, because I know other games do it, I think if there was a cosmetic toggle, it would make the game so much easier in being able to look at somebody and identify them. I know that's a big complaint in other competitive games, like Apex Legends or League of Legends or stuff like that, where
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you look at somebody and you're like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Um,
clarity for that, right? Cosmetic clarity.
but I think that it could go crazy in this game. I think it could go crazy.
Yeah. I think the option to turn off cosmetics, while sounds like a good thing, I think a lot of companies don't do that because of the fact that people buy cosmetics to flex, simply put, right? And if you can
True.
have an option to disable that, it would will decline, I guess, the need or want rather to buy those cosmetics, right? It's like, oh well, half the player base already hides the cosmetics anyways, so I don't really get my full like quote unquote money's worth. So they could be less inclined to purchase cosmetics, right? So I don't think they'll ever
Yeah,
do that. But I still think that they should have effect changing.
I think
As long as clean and clear, I think it'd be okay. Like a color change.
yeah, I think a color change could be cool. Um, I think it would be really, really cool if they added options to the character overall. Uh, there is the option that it's just a character customized slider, right? Where you could just choose the color, or you can change the effect, whether
Mm-hmm.
it be like lightning or ice or fire or whatever, right? It would be a lot of work, and I don't think that they would go that route. But that's an option that is available. Um, I was trying to think of the word. I think the word was devalue. I think it would devalue a lot of skins for players.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely do agree with that. But I really like the
But
weapon skin, like tiny weapon skins a lot.
yeah, I think it would also incline players to buy weapon skins that, maybe I don't like this outfit that much, but the effects, right? The effects are sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to buy specifically the weapon. And then, that ties it to where you could have 3 types of effects dedicated to 3 different weapons.
The customization would go crazy. I'd be so down for it still.
Oh, it would be so sick. Dude, there would be fashion shows.
Yeah, as
Oh,
more as
dude,
it already
imagine
is, you
BDO
know.
fashion show.
Yeah, people do that. That's an event people do.
Maybe you need to run one.
Maybe I do. I've been thinking about that. I think it'd be kind of silly, a little fun, like a little cash prize or something in the end.
Cash pro, dude. Maybe give a cash prize to your mods, man. Dude, I'm starving over here.
Yeah, about then. Moving on from that, you said you want to talk about the Hong changes, right? Going back to more PvE and combat.
Oh, Hong Lim base. Oh, we're on to the juicy content. I'm very well versed in this.
Uh huh. I know you've been living at Honglim and Crescents for like the past month or so.
That place is absolutely broken. We need to gut it. Just remove it from the game.
It was a
Hong
mistake.
Lim, dude. Oh my god. Okay. When it comes to PvE, I think the incentive for a lot of players should be to grind spots on level with them, should be purely 100%. Like, I just will turbo overclear this spot and it will not be worth my time if I were to grind somewhere else. I think that is something that should exist. And of course, there's exceptions. Of course, right? If you're completely turbo farming and you're overgrinding Rudums, there's no point in getting despair from there. But Hong Lim being a spot that is based off of how fast you clear. If you clear the spot fast enough, you will start the timer before they respawn faster. And then the trash is just exponential, bro. Dude, John Law 98 does 1 hour at Honglim rework. 41k trash. Chizian was in the chat saying he pulled 52k trash, bro. Like, dude, the global average, by the way, is 21,000. The global average, I think, is like 30k if you're using Agris.
Mm-hmm.
People are pulling nearly double that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, that's insane. It's sure, it's 60k Agris an hour if you're farming double that. But man, that's insane. That's too much. This place is so unbalanced, and they buffed the trash with the new AFK sharpshooter. I mean, I think the only downside is that the Origin of Dark Hunger just doesn't sell, but even then, you're able to make stacks out of it.
Yeah, at least you can use it.
It's the most busted spot in the game, I swear. If you aren't grinding Honglim, what are you doing? You're
True.
probably at Dolan's too.
Yeah, Honglim, for how easy it is how easy it is so good. You get a lot of money. You need the Dons. And it's also easy.
It's also better Dons than Dokkaebi.
No, that's not true.
No. If you're grinding like turbo average, like if you're grinding turbo fast, it is.
If anything, you mash Dokkaebi.
Even then, like fuck. You're making more Dons if you include the money. I mean, that place is so stupid. That place is crazy. That place is insane.
It is insane.
That reminds me of like everybody that was talking about Dark Seekers when it first released. Or like Dark Seekers, I don't know which rework it was, but Dark Seekers became insane. But it was like gate kept. This is like Dark Seekers, but like not gate kept. Like it's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, when Dokkaebi and Honglim came out together, people had their attention on Dokkaebi for the longest time, and it was kind of like under the radar for a bit, and then people started to realize, wait, Dokkaebi is actually really good, or not Dokkaebi, sorry, Honglim is actually really good. People started to make videos, you know, sort of their trash hours, and see, actually, it compares to Dokkaebi pretty well.
Dude, Honglim is crazy. Wait, am I allowed to expose the Ain tech?
Yeah, you can have it in tech, absolutely.
Okay, Ain tech chat. So there's a weapon called Ain that's a main hand. And for you Awakening players, it gives 35 demi-human damage. And since Dokkaebi is a 30% AP cap spot, it mathematically is better to run Ain and play Awakening to get the demi-human damage to clear it faster. It is insane. Like, 35 demi-human damage is so big. It is so... Oh my god, it's so much.
Yeah. For context, demi-human harmonies only give you 15, I believe, demi-human damage.
35! And it only the weapon only costs like... What? Like 4 bill on average to make? Which I know it's 4 bill. 4 bill is a lot, guys. But if you're investing into Honglim, you're making that back in 3-4 hours.
You can also use trolls, LV trolls. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Out there.
It's just crazy.
This only really works if you're an Awakening player, because the fact that it has to replace your main hand kind of sucks for us Succession players. But if you are an Awakening player, I would definitely look into that.
I know I'm looking into that, and I don't even like Awakening Guardian. Honglim. I overall think that the change for Honglim was good, but I think that it's finally settling in. It's like a League of Legends champion, right? Where it's like, you know, this thing releases and it's kind of like you know, like everybody's playing it, it's whatever. And then it sits under the radar for a while, and then it turns out to be the most broken thing in the game. That's Honglim. Like, that place is crazy. Especially because it's like, what, 270, 360? That's insane.
Yeah, for the requirements to grind a Honglim is very low for what it actually does.
And Dawns aren't even on the market.
Yep.
So this place will probably not die since Dawns are going to be on the market. Or people are going to need Dawns forever because Karazad is just meta.
We need a lot of Dawns. Until we get more ways of getting Dawns. Because the Karazad's right, we're just gonna need Dawns permanently. It's always gonna be a relevant spot.
Yeah. I wonder, unironically, if Pigs is gonna drop Dawns.
Most likely. Because the Dawns are gonna be, I mean, if you look at them, it's landing more light spots to drop in, right? So I'm sure Pigs
Do you think Pigs is going to Also have Faint Origin of Dark Hunger.
I don't think so. I think they are very aware that Faints are down in the dirt right now. I don't think they will.
Maybe that's their way of nerfing the Dokkaebi and Honglim. Is they just gatekeep like 500 mil every drop.
I do wish there was a way more reason to go to Dokkaebi. Because I do know even Dokkaebi players are saying, hey, let's just go to Honglim. It's chiller there, and it's more... it's like roughly the same money per hour. But because Jins don't drop, I do wish that a Jin could drop from Dokkaebi. Even at the smallest of rates, right? Kind of like the Flame, but maybe even more rare because it's more expensive. So I personally wish Dokkaebi had that drop, especially because it's the end game spot, right? It's not even like a mid game spot. I do wish that. If not, I hope the pig spot will do that too, maybe.
Yeah. Just a question. Does the aim tech work for like archer and scholar players?
Oh, for Ascension classes, yeah, it does work. But because of how their AP is kind of like split, because they go off of, I believe all Ascension. I could be wrong on this, but the last time I did my research, I believe all Ascension classes use their Awakening AP as their bit brackets, or it's either that or the highest AP they have. But regardless, it is still very good because they act closer to Awakening classes than Succession classes.
Okay.
And a lot of these classes also use their Waking weapon a lot. Archer being the biggest one. They use mainly the Great Bow. And I know Scholar also uses the big hammer a lot. Gunner, that might be the one exception. Or did I? Sorry. One exception. Where they do use their primaries a little bit more. But they also use their offhand a lot too. So that one might be a test angle. Because Ascension classes are a little weird.
Okay. Speaking about Ascension classes, I think for context, I'm currently grinding for a Black Star Awakening, Pen Black Star Awakening. Um, I think I will give Scholar a full try when I get that, because Scholar does scream me.
Can you,
But I've never had.
I hate to
Good.
interrupt you, but can you enlighten the listeners of your scholar's name?
Oh, Bonkenheimer.
Hmm.
Bonkenheimer. This was Scholar came out at the peak of Oppenheimer, and like Mega just was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna steal your name." Which what is your name?
You want to know my
Sean?
scholar's name? My scholar
Yeah.
name is Scholar. It's collar, like like a collar you put on like a dog. It's just a collar with an S in front of it. It's Scholar, and I think it's the funniest name ever.
Oh, who came up with that?
Me. No, it was you.
No, I came up with that. I did that. Stop claiming. Okay, but yeah, Bonkenheimer is my goat, and I'm very excited. I Scholar just Scholar is such a cool class. It's just it was so hard to learn, and now as a reformed player, maybe my brain's bigger.
Maybe, yeah. And tagging is way easier now too, so give it a shot right now.
True. Yeah, I may have to buy a new horn though.
Oh, true. You don't have to. I would until you're ready, I think.
Yeah. By the way, this sweet potato's crazy.
Yeah, the honey roasted sweet potato is so good. Kind of sad it's going away.
I have a 10-hour version.
Oh, those. I'm talking about the honey one.
Yeah.
Honey ones are so good.
Wait, is the 10-hour version not the honey one? Oh no.
No, it's not.
This place is. Dude, I ran out of Agris. I just realized. You've ruined my hours. My video's ruined.
Oh no.
Oh no. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Anything big?
Yeah, I do actually. I think that one big things that another viewer has asked is if we feel rewarded for the amount of hours we put in, right?
Oh.
I think that's a big topic to talk about. Uh,
Mm.
I personally think that I think genuinely I feel rewarded for the amount of hours. Obviously, the things I'm doing aren't always gonna be a one-to-one like reward investment ratio. But the fact that I can just keep grinding and I just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger is a nice feeling. Because I don't know if you ever felt this, but whenever you get an upgrade or two, and it feels either maybe a little lackluster at the time because you spent so much, you pity the enhancements or something. But at the end of the day, you go to the grind spot that you were at beforehand, like maybe like a month or two ago, and you just wipe that like, grind spot so much better. It's a nice feeling. It's a really nice feeling. Not sure if you felt that.
True. Uh, I do. I do feel that. The one for me is Gyfin. I remember before I left the game, I was really struggling with Gyfin, especially at night. And then I came back and I took a vacation at Hong Lim, and then I went over to Gyfin, and I just cannot die there. I
Mm-hmm.
just kill everything so fast. They can't even stand up. But overall, I want to say with my time invested in the game, yes, I feel rewarded, but I think it's the overall thing in the game. And it was very, very hard for me mentally initially when I started the game to deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
which is I was comparing myself to my peers a lot, right? People that are around the same gear score as me, or people that are working towards the same thing as me. Um, Sometimes they just get lucky, or
That's
sometimes they
true.
just they just don't have the struggle that you do. And overall, I think that the entire idea that it's your journey, you know, do what you do what you want to do to feel rewarded is a big part of it, because I understand the entire reason why I stepped away from the game was because I wasn't doing stuff that was feeling rewarding. I felt like I was stuck in purgatory almost. And now coming back, I've kind of identified what I enjoy doing, what makes me feel like I'm making progress, and I'm making that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
It
You have like
I
your
think
own
that that
goals. You
is the
have your own
reward.
path, right?
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, he could get the drop, but if he grinds an hour a week and I grind, 15 hours, eventually, I should see the, my effort and everything come to fruition.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm throwing shade at Horky. We raced to the potion pots, and he pulled every single large piece, and I pitied 4 of them. That sucks. That made me feel terrible, and I'll never do that again. But with that being said, hey Megan, you want to race to the telescope?
Yeah, let's totally do that.
Yeah, man.
If you get it first, I would actually cry.
There's unironically a solid chance that I do. Like, with how unlucky you are currently, dude, it has to happen soon,
That's what
right?
I'm saying, dude. I think we broke 470 hours. I think we're post 470 now. By the way, at City/Dark Seekers. I think that's crazy.
I hope it happens. Unironically, I hope it happens. But
I
like,
just wanna move on to the map, man. I want to go to a
dude,
different hell.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you to finish up your telescope and just finally be able to be like, yeah, I'm not walking there, and then just be able to TP. I think that will be the reward in itself. I think it'll feel so good.
Yeah. I just want to have like a because when you do actually get all the treasures, if you didn't know, when you do get a treasure, you get a furniture piece that goes along with it. And I want to I want to work on my manor down the road, and I want to have like a treasure room where all the treasures kind of sit together. And I think that'd be so satisfying to see all, especially the telescope, right? I want to see all of them in the same room, looking all pretty and shiny.
Community event to grind the telescope before Mega. That message is crazy. Oh, I never really asked you this question. I don't know. I guess you've kind of talked about it in the background, but besides telescope, what are your PvE goals? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
So PvE goals I have personally, besides treasures, because I've looked at that earlier, is obviously get as high as gear score as possible. I think that's an obvious one, you know. My current short-term goals is getting Sept rings, both of my Sept rings and Sept earrings. Those are my short-term goals. PvE wise, I do need to get Splendid eventually. That's way down the road though. An Alchemy Stone, right? And I need to finish my Dekia artifact technical PvP, but I got PvE to do it. But in terms of just like PvE goals, that's pretty much it. I don't really have too many goals besides that. I know that the treasure grind is gonna be very long, so I never really put too much like what to do after, I guess, thought into it.
Mm. This is a loaded question, but when are you getting Tet armors?
Tet armors, that's a good point. Tet armors I'll probably get once I'm like past 340 AP. Probably when I have Sept accessories, everything.
Okay.
That was my current idea. Maybe I have an Oct belt with it, or a Sept. Have a Sept. What do you call it? Sovereign. But yeah.
I think it's interesting because I'm thinking about my future, and I would have opted for Tet armors way sooner.
Hmm.
Like what I'm thinking about is like I'm probably gonna have like Oct neck and like everything else Sept besides rings before I get, you know, that.
It's
As
still a
well
lot of
as
Quran. That's the biggest reason why. A lot of Qurans.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's what yeah. Um but like you have crazy weapons, no? 'Cause I have
The
a
hex.
pen weapon. I don't you have two hex?
No, I only have one hex. One hex, one pen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were tapping for depth the other day or something like that.
No, I haven't tapped for a Sovereign yet. If you didn't know, apparently, according to math that people have done, is that it is more efficient to actually go for Oct Karazad than to go for Hex Sovereign.
Really?
Yeah, with the percentage and the crons it takes.
Damn.
So that's how like low priority Sovereign really is.
That's interesting.
I want to get the pen personally just for the glow, and that was it.
Yeah, that's why I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because you bullied me. But
yeah, but it was like you got it. So like, am I really bullying you?
You gotta do it.
Am I bullying you, or am I pushing you to the right direction? Smart.
Yeah. It's encouragement. It's encouragement.
Bullying is only.
And you know what?
Bullying is only not encouragement if they don't get it.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah, I don't agree, but maybe it's because I'm on the other end of the bullying cycle. It's just
no, you wouldn't get it until you start bullying, or sorry, not bullying, encouraging.
Oh, yeah. I've been trying to encourage all my friends to get to Olin's because Olin's is fun.
Oh, this is a lot of
Yep,
fun.
I'm so excited for 1 mil trash at Olin's.
That's just a merch
I'm
ring,
gonna
Brian.
true, except for I'm not able to sell it.
Ew.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'm so excited to be able to sell all my trash. I think it'll be so cool.
It would feel like a huge paycheck, huh?
It is gonna be a huge paycheck. I don't know why you don't do that at City.
Because I need the greens.
Okay. No. I think maybe maybe it is this little reward system that I put in for myself. But going back to the question of do I feel rewarded when I for the time I spent, I guess I do this thing where I kind of put my trash away. I did this with orcs and nagas and fogans where until I had enough shards to make the cup, I didn't sell the trash. And then I'm doing it right now at Crescents where until I have 1 million trash, I'm not allowed to sell the trash. Where I get this big lump sum of money. It's like I got a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's very rewarding to turn around and be like, man, I'm broke. Except for I grinded a lot, and now I'm no longer broke because I guess I proved it to myself that I could grind this place a
Yeah.
bunch,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think a big reason why I still feel rewarded from the high amounts of grinding I have to do is because I put my goals. I decided what the goals were, right? And I think that's a big reason why I feel accomplished because I put these goals that I know I have to struggle a bit, and we are struggling, right? I'm struggling right now in City of the Dead, trying to get this telescope piece. But even if the telescope wasn't that like crazy worth it, I still feel accomplished because I proved to myself that I got it. You know?
Yeah, I think that it kind of shows itself for me that like setting my own goals. Like I could always get input and ask people and have them tell me what I should or shouldn't do. But like at the end of the day, like if I'm like I want to do this anyways, it kind of feels really nice to know that I'm still making progress and that I'm smart enough and I've made a decision that I'm happy with to progress and get gear score gains.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people say tap the Debo, it's just not a good idea sometimes. But if you make the gear score gains off of it because you decided that on your own, it can feel nice.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know that that's what I live for. I really live for those very high highs. And when the lows get low, it is what it is. But like the very high highs are what I live for, and I think that those are rewarding in itself.
Yeah. Definitely agree. I think that's also the big beauty of this game, where this game is always about your own adventure, right? Your adventures, no two adventures are the same, right? We all choose different paths, we all choose different methods. We meet different people, blah blah, right? We have different experiences, and I think that's one of the best parts. We are all working towards something. It could be very different, but we are still coexisting with each other, and I think that's an awesome feeling. That one of the biggest reasons why people play MMOs, right?
Yeah. I think being able to share those moments with people
Mm-hmm.
when like your adventures cross paths with somebody.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I there's this very very funny thing that happened to me. I'm gonna share it here because I don't think I have anywhere else to share it. But I was one day fishing, ice fishing, middle of the night, like 5 a.m., 4 a.m. I guess it's morning at that point. But I came across like this person, and I don't know their name. I don't know anything about this person. I've never met this person prior to this at all. But we were fishing together, and I found out that they took pictures, like screenshots of us fishing together, and they uploaded it and they did whatever, right? And they were very happy with the scenario. And I'm like, that is something that I don't think I could get in any other game.
Sure.
Like, this random person who's been playing this game forever just came across me as a person because I coincidentally am on the server. They take pictures, they post about it, they laugh about it, whatever, and then I never talk to this person again. And that feels amazing. It is so amazing. Like, it puts
It's
a
like
smile on my
genuine
face.
interaction, right?
Yeah, and and no offense to the people in this game, Mega knows I just don't like talking to people. It's not really something that I go out of my way to do a lot. But like, for that moment to be shared with somebody is it's heartwarming.
Mm-hmm. A genuine connection.
And you could do that at Adventurers Oasis.
It's crazy how that's more to him. Maybe it was a nice demo, by the way. Congrats. To him, it might not been a crazy thing. You know, maybe he just does it always, right? But to you, it was a core memory. You will probably play this game 5 years later, and you will still remember that.
Yeah.
And that's like an awesome feeling. And the fact that we can make core memories, whether you know it or not, is awesome.
Yeah, 100%. There's something that probably I've done in this game. You know, like that I've done in this game that I don't even remember, but somebody probably, they have me on like a hit list or something because I killed them all AFK like fishing or like there's something crazy like that, and I just don't know about it, and I think that's so charming.
Yeah. They can still be playing this game looking for you.
True. I know I'm looking for that guy that killed me on my shy.
That's true. I wonder how he's doing.
Oh, I'm so excited to find him. One day. I'm letting you know. I'm gearing up just for that day, by the way. That's my long-term goal. I think we stray a little bit off course of PvE.
I think it's okay. I think that's awesome.
That's crazy. Man, this is a vibe, guys. This is a vibe. I love the podcast.
Yeah. It's where I can kind of yap about this game that I love so much. I think I fell in love with this game the moment... Okay, this thing sounds stupid, right? Don't get me wrong. I fell in love with this game. I made my first character. I think I made a ranger, right? My first character ever. And I killed the beginning wolves, or was the weasel? I think the weasel. I killed the beginning weasels at like level 2 or level 3 or whatever. And I saw that you could harvest their blood, and I saw you could harvest their hide, and I saw you could harvest their the meat, right? And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And then I walked up to a tree, and I said you can harvest the logs and the sap. And I'm like, wow, that's actually so awesome. And as I kept playing, I've like learning that all these intricate parts kind of just work together, and it's like in this like chaotic, beautiful mess. I think that's when I fell in love with this game. About like, wow, life skillers, PvPers, PvEers, role players, musicians, whatever you want to like, any other categories you want to put in here. We all just coexist in the same game. In the same game, we all boot up the same way, right? We all log into a server the same way, and we do our things, right? And we can just see each other whenever we wanted to. And I think that's awesome.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
And these experiences you'll never get in like Game of League or Valorant or whatever, right? You can only get these in realistically MMOs. And I think this game does a beautiful job of doing all of those well. I love BDO.
I love BDO.
With that being said, can I have my telescope piece? Thanks, man.
Maybe we should ask Underfo.
Hey, Underfo, if you're listening to this podcast, can I have the telescope piece from City of the Dead? Thank you. Shout out to Underfo, best DM. Oh, can we talk about that? Actually, hold on. While we're on the topic of community, I don't know if you played many MMOs. I played a good amount of MMOs in my life. But I have never met a community. I've never met a community where the CMs and GMs, aka like staff essentially, are so intertwined with the community that they hang out with streamers, they hang out with people in game. They're just giving out buffs all the time. They are, they make a lot of like awesome memes, events. They host events for all of us, all self-driven by the GMs and CMs, and I think that's so awesome. It kind of puts them like they're definitely like part of the community that we all like can't forget about, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're so like they're so funny. They're all so funny, except for Polly. Polly's not that funny. That's just me throwing shit at
I think
Polly.
it's the charm. I think it's this thing that kind of keeps me around. Because the game doesn't feel, it never feels dead. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the interactions, and maybe that's just me being, trying to be a part of the Twitch community, me making friends in game, learning about other people. But like, I feel like the game does a good job of kind of shoving other players in your face.
Yeah, that's definitely true to an extent. I think a lot of people do complain about like how grind spots feel kind of dead and just kind of like it feels like a solo single player game. And while I can understand that like grinding may feel single player, it's the fact that we're all doing our own thing and then we come back together at the towns and stuff and we'll see each other at towns, right?
Yeah.
It's like doing your 9 to 5, you know?
Yeah. I mean, speaking about it, right? Going to the root of the podcast, PvE. I think that overall, it bugs me a lot when people will speak about BDO and they'll be like, "It's just hit mob simulator," and it's very frustrating because it's not. There's so much that happens in this world. There's so many players, there's so many stories, there's so much to do that, it's not just hit mob. And of course, that's what I am. I'm just hit mob guy. I've been hitting mobs for 2,000 hours.
Sure.
But like, when it comes down to it, it's like, what I choose to do outside of hitting mobs makes the game better than just hitting mobs. I would have quit if it was just hitting mobs, but like everything just intertwines and just comes together in this like I want to say like a beautiful way that is just, it's crazy. And no matter if
so natural.
like, yeah, and no matter if like you're trying to RP on Comma 2 or like, you're a life skiller or you're just trying to, farm the grind spots as efficiently as possible, like I get to see it. I get to experience it. And it's not just a thing that you are doing. It impacts others as well. And I don't think a lot of people see that. Like, unironically, the world is lived in by all the players. And I think it's so, I don't want to say stupid, but I think it's so, like, ignorant to say, yeah, it's just a solo game. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, that frustrates me so much.
Yeah, and I think it's very easy to see this game as just like a run in circle simulator. But like ultimately, in the end, everything is just run in circles, right? It's about how you perceive it and how you react upon it makes it feel different, right? And I'm only I don't grind because grinding is oh so fun. Like grinding is fun, don't get me wrong. But I'm still here because, like you said, of the people, right? Of the people, of the homies, of the boys I've talked to, of the friends I've met, guildies, and the interactions I had with them, and we all exist in the same game, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know some people who do like just not pay attention to community, and I think those are the players who just don't like. This game is boring. It's just run in circles. But if you don't try to find for a community or try to find people, it's gonna feel like that no matter what. You know, a job, no matter what job you have, is gonna be boring if you don't interact with people. As people, we're social creatures, right? And we want to interact with people. If you don't interact with people at any job, it's gonna be so soul draining. Doesn't matter what job it is.
True. With that being said, I want more group grind spots.
Oh, 100%. I think group grind spots should be more available to us. I think that there's been talks about how people want a mechanic where they turn any grind spot into a group grind spot with like a system, right? And I thought about that, and I don't know if that's the right thing to do, because I think it would lose a lot of charm in group grind spots. But definitely something. The whole point of them asking that is to have more group grind spots. So yeah, I definitely would like more group grind spots. I would like more duo spots specifically, and even another 5-man spot. I think would be awesome.
I think that it would be cool if there was something dynamic about group grind spots. Like, if a group grind spot were to change, or if, there's a rotation, like, I can understand the idea of, I don't want to have every spot turned into a group grind spot, but the idea of, maybe one week you're able to turn crescents into a group grind spot.
Like a
1 week
rotating grind spots.
cadres. And like, I think it'd be cool. And of course, like, the rotations would get different. I just think having it open all the time, it's convenient, but I think it gets rid of the pizzazz, right? Like, I can't imagine being locked behind D2 Olins and just, it would lose its charm. But like right now, me going to Olin's it's a blast. It's an hour with the homies,
Mhm.
uninterrupted. I would want to see, if there was a group grind spot come out, I would want to see either Dekia trees or Elvia trees.
Yep.
I think
Decky
that
trees.
spot
Decky trees
would be
is
amazing.
confirmed, by the way. We just don't know where we're getting.
Yeah. I hope it's group. I hope it's group. I hope it's group.
Yeah, I hope it is. I hope so too. We need this.
Because unironically, like, do you think potion pots will come from it, Atanis?
Yeah, I think so.
I hope, because I think it'd be so nice to just be able to sit down with like new players, and they're just like, oh, I don't want to grind for the potion
Oh
pot."
my!
Oh my god! Oh my god! No way!
No shot! I got another cheese wheel.
Today was the day of the cheese wheel. Yeah.
Oh my god! I've gotten a 5th cheese wheel.
Chat, today was the day.
I take back everything I said. I hate this game.
Yeah, that's poetic. That is poetic.
Holy smokes, man! I cannot believe I got a. Well, I guess the 4th drop cheese wheel, but a 4th drop cheese wheel, man. Holy smokes!
Oh, that's perfect. That makes me so happy.
That does not make me very happy.
Oh my. Holy, what a day. What a day. Good podcast.
Yeah, I guess.
For the listeners, what how would you explain that to listeners?
About my
a
cheese
cheese
wheel?
wheel?
Oh, so yeah, I'm grinding for my telescope treasure at City of Dead, but it can drop 2 pieces, right? It can drop the universal piece. We call it the cheese wheel because it looks like a piece of cheese, and the actual piece that only drops at City of Dead. Why, hence I'm here. I have received the cheese wheel It dropped here 4 times. 4 times now! And I need one of each. I do not need dupes.
Uh, how rare is the cheese wheel compared to the telescope?
It's like 3 times rare. 4
Oh,
times
three
rare.
times rarer. Oh, you pulled 5?
Well, 4, technically. I just have 5.
Ah,
Because I convert 3 of my vodka pieces for 1.
man.
Don't worry, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going.
Wait, dude, that's so funny. That's so funny. Oh,
Yeah, I don't think you can even write this one out.
I don't even know what we even go to. I have 3 minutes left on my buffs. Second hour is coming to an end.
Mhm.
How are you feeling? How do you feel about the podcast today?
I feel pretty good. I think we talked a lot about PvE and just like I think we put more of our I guess passion into it this time with our other ones about
Yeah,
our own experiences. I think is a big part. Why the podcast can be relatable, and we also put our input on things that we wish to see. I think having a 2 hour felt nice. Not gonna lie.
yeah, it kind of flew by, to be honest.
Yeah, it really did.
I'm, you know, I think about it a lot of being on the podcast of like, why would people choose to watch us?
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's a good thing to think about, but like, I kind of want to build this whole thing with the viewers, the people that come back multiple times, and be able to share my experiences or things that have happened along with the rest of the BDO talk.
Yeah.
Um, to solidify, like, I'm Frogger 12. I'm this person. I am a person just like you guys. I'm not here to tell you the updates of the week. I'm here to share my opinion on the updates, right?
Hmm.
Um, I think it's nice to be able to, kind of splurge and react and do whatever I want
Yeah.
for
Exactly.
a longer time than an hour.
Yeah, I think with an
It's
hour,
safe.
it's a little too like cut stone of like, oh, we gotta go over these, go over that. But with 2 hours, we can kind of talk about more of our experiences a lot more. I think it makes it a little bit more more human, and I think that's a good feeling. I think I would like to continue doing 2 hours.
2 hours every week.
Uh, as a general rule of thumb, yeah. We can talk
Guys,
about
he
it
just
later.
doubled my work. He just doubled my workload.
Oh, he fell for it.
By the way, guys, we're taking co-host applications.
My hour's about to end here. What about your hours?
My hour is about to end. I had a killer hour. Killer two
Nice.
hours. I got 2 Debarekas,
Nice.
I think. Did I get 2? Yeah, I got 2. Yeah, and then I got a Limbo Seal the hour before we started the podcast. I'm living it up right now. I got 5 Debarekas today. Co-hosts? No, I'm making a joke. By the way, guys, I just want to say, if you've made it this far, thank you guys so much for listening. We do stream these live. Schedules do change, and they are uploaded into our Discords. We usually try to get those out. What would you say? Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday.
Um, but yeah, these are hosted live, and we do read chat sometimes and interact with you guys afterwards. So if that ever is something that you're interested in, you could stop over by FrogEnjoyer12 on Twitch or blank. What's your handle?
Blink Mega. Twitch.tv/Blink Mega.
And we're trying to get this on Spotify. Did we?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if we ever talked about that, but we are trying to get this on Spotify. So if you guys ever miss an episode, you can maybe check us out on there if watching a video isn't so much to your liking. I mean, besides that, my hour is over.
I'm just finishing this last boss,
I'm,
and we're about to wrap things up here.
I'm shilling.
I had a great hour, except for the fact that I got a cheese wheel.
Well, I mean, cheese wheel is a treasure, man. Why are you about to complain about a treasure?
You're so right.
What if you need that in the future?
What if I need that for my 5th telescope?
Oh, each telescope has a different cooldown, right?
I think so, actually.
Oh, maybe that's Biss. Maybe that's the true end game.
But overall, a good hour, really good hour. The dead will continue to haunt me, I suppose. But once again, thank you so much for listening to us yap about PvE today. Great Garmoth Grindcast today. And you should follow us on twitch.tv/blankmega and twitch.tv/FogNerd12. The Discord down below in the description will be where we post our schedules, and you can also ask questions there for us to answer on any future Garmoth Grindcast. Thank you so much for listening to episode 3, and we will see you next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, fellas. Love you guys.
Bye.